When you come in, make sure you click that thumbs up button because you know me and the algorithm been beefing, and I'm trying to turn the tide on that. I got on one of the founding fathers' wigs today, and I'm trying to unpack something, and my goal is to do this in a way that I don't start cursing and yelling and just really really sounding speaking from a place of trauma. Amen, a woman. So I watch FD Signifier from time to time, and every time I watch his videos about Kanye, I always get triggered. You know, when I hear college educated people in our community, black people, give their interpretation of Kanye West. And my greatest issue with them being the culture bearers or the moderators or the facilitators or the narrators of the black experience in this particular paradigm or in this era of consciousness is that it's always kind of like from this tunnel vision, like this vacuum like space. Like, this is how we see it amongst each other. This is not really the consensus of all black people across the board. This is not, because let's be clear, a lot of people who are, have reached a certain level of education in the black community, let's be clear, they hang with their kind. Classism is real. A lot of times people who, like, if you got a degree from community college, or you got like an associate, you went to school for about 2 years, 3 years, or you went to a community college for 3 or 4 years, then that's definitely not what you're gonna see happening. You're not gonna get that experience oftentimes from them. You mostly get that experience from black people who have went to like a historically black college, and they got a masterate degree. They got like they got like they got degrees, like they didn't did they dissertation, and they got they doctorate. You really really kind of, the more education that they have, the more siloed and the more tunnel vision the perspective seems to be. And that's a challenge for me. Like, that's a challenge when you are speaking for the whole of our community, when you're speaking to all of us, when a lot of us are not, participating in the educational institutions. And so we, because you get to tell the story, because you've been picked to tell the story. And let's be clear, anyone who's getting picked to tell the story in America, there's a certain level of raccoonery that has to take place in order for you. There's a certain there's a little bit of tap dancing, a little bit of hop, shuffle, and step, a little bit of feces eating. It's necessary in order for you to get somewhere at a high level in a nation that has only had one president that was remotely black. And that president was not a descendant of chattel slavery. That president's direct ancestors were not prisoners of war. You know, that was not Obama's narrative. The only president that we've had that was remotely black, their direct ancestors were not indigenous to this landmass. They were not prisoners of war, and they were not a part of chattel slavery. And so that's the closest thing that we've had to a black president since 1770 something. And so you have to understand that The people who are in power that look like us, in order for them to get to where they gotten, it's a certain level of devotion. It's a certain level of raccoonery that has to take place in order for them to herd us into our boxes and keep us calm and keep us, following the rules. And like they've been doing an amazing job of gatekeeping. All of the pastors and the politicians and the celebrities who went to Juilliard and went to these great schools and got all these they have been doing a great job of keeping the 15% docile and demure and just willing to just be ran through by, white supremacy and patriarchy. Like they've been doing an amazing job. And these are the people who get to tell the story about the Black experience. These are the people who get to narrate that story. And so when I heard FD Signifier talk about Kanye West, having on a mask and sitting on, I think it was Young Turks or something like that, when he had that mask on and he was rambling on about Hitler and complimenting Hitler. I've heard some black people, not just Kanye, but I've heard black people who agreed with some things that Hitler had to say. Let's be clear. Some of Hitler's enemies agree. Like some people who we would think wouldn't agree with Hitler. There are people who, everybody didn't hate Hitler. Like it's okay to say that everybody didn't hate Hitler. I, for one, don't know enough about him. I know he did some horrible things to the Jews, but America has done some horrible things to black people. America has done horrible things to black people, and we have supported America for hundreds of years. We supported America for we supported America to the point of we only had one president that was remotely black. And when I say remotely, I mean, again, not a descendant of the prisoners of war, not a direct descendant of chattel slavery. We've never had that yet. And we've been extremely loyal to a nation that our ancestors helped to build, that our ancestors died for. And for hundreds of years, we served a white government. We served a white power structure. We served white patriarchy. And so to make the stuff that was coming out of Kanye's mouth sound far-fetched and like, where is he getting that from? Like that's for me, that's the part, like how you have to be crafty when you craft a narrative that makes Kanye look like he was just delusional and insane, when most of us in this nation who are literally invested in the system as is, like the only reason why we can't see how delusional y'all are is because y'all are being backed by the colonizer. Y'all are being backed by the people who've created this paradigm, who benefit the most from this paradigm. Like when you're in addiction or you're doing something that's harmful, when you're doing something that's harmful to yourself, you need a support system. And who is black people's support system? Who is supporting the politics of people like Donald Trump and people like Kamala Harris? Because even though everybody's saying Kamala is going to protect women and Kamala's going to protect the LGBTQ, let's be clear. She's invested in protecting the middle class on up. That means the ones who making at least $70,000 a year, the ones who making some coins, the ones who truly getting out there and invested in this society. She don't care about those living below the poverty line. She don't care about people making minimum wage. She don't care about people who living on housing and affordable housing. She don't care about them either. She care about the middle class and the upper middle class. She care about the people that are invested in American politics. She care about the people who are invested in this nation as is. And that's a conversation that a lot of y'all don't want to have. That's a conversation that a lot of people don't want to have. And so that's my problem with college educated black people. Some of them, not all of them, because y'all go and y'all learn that stuff and then y'all start using it to diminish your own people, to put down your own people, to make your own. You're not educated. Oh, I could tell you're ignorant. Oh, I could tell. Like, the only kind of black people that are ignorant, or the only kind of black people that are uneducated are coons and lazy people. Like, literally, like, that's the only kind of black people that are not interested in being indoctrinated by the system, are the ones who lazy and coons. Like, depicting us in that narrative that is some like, and trying to make yourself look like you're so invested in your people. Like, this is why the word black for me is iffy, because I say all the time, black is supposed to be able to withhold everything. Black absorbs all of the colors, but black, the word black is being gatekept, and the word black is being edited, just like just like the word gay was edited. So now that when you think of gay, you think of, a masculine man always working out at the gym with some leather chaps on. Like when you used to think of gay, you used to think of, feminine gay. You used to think of a Marsha P. Johnson. You used to think of somebody that, you could look at them from a mile away and tell they was gay. But now when you think of the word gay, you don't necessarily think of someone who is flamboyant. And that's because, there was a period in the gay community where they was having the no fats, no films parties. And they were, those men were meeting, honey, doctors and lawyers and judges and, and the who's who of the black gay community, honey. And they was straightening out that narrative, honey. They was gatekeeping that femininity up out of there. They was organizing so they could change how we saw gay. And so I'm more than certain that those were academics that created that space and navigated that in some way, because it's like you're not about to be around here embarrassing me and outing me and telling my tea. So that was probably that whole Fats No Films movement was probably spearheaded by members, people who had graduated from college. That whole movement was probably some Freemason work. So I don't think that people outside of the institutions, people outside of the establishment are going to be that interested in dividing us up like that. I definitely believe that the division is always led by people who have been extremely indoctrinated by the institutions. I definitely feel like how blackness is being monitored and moderated, and how the conversation is being so closely screened, and anyone who deviates from the script or says something that is looked at as not in line with, because they'll get up there and they'll tell you, oh, the mama matter and the mama's important. They're gonna say that because they know women are looking, but it's still gonna be business as usual. Oh, they gonna get up there and give you a good word and tell you what you want to hear. They're gonna say some positive stuff about the queer community. They're gonna say some positive stuff about women, but at the end of the day, it's still gonna be business as usual. You should be willing to help. This is really not. Yeah, that's not really what we talking about right now. We not, we not really like. That's not what we really talking about. Now, Jonathan, how you gonna say you not gonna slave away for paper and then ask me to give you $3? Now, come on, Jonathan. You don't ask for $3 right after you just said you'll slave away for $3. That's not what you do. Come on now, work with me. But yeah, so now these thoughts is coming out, like they coming out like sporadic because it's like I'm trying to process this in a way that's not negative. Like I'm trying to process this in a way where I'm not yelling and cursing and fussing because I don't want people to try to use that as an excuse not to listen to what I'm saying. But the moral of the story is this. The reason why there has not been a serious uprising in the amongst people of color in this nation, the reason why there has not been another civil war, the reason why we have not fought for more more rights for women, more rights for queer people, more rights for people living below the poverty line within the black community. The reason why that has not happened is because our gatekeepers in all of their stations, whether they are politicians, whether they're celebrities who studied at these art schools and these art colleges, whether they are academics, the reason why we have not risen up, the reason why there has not been a serious revolution or rebellion is because we have had gatekeepers during the time of Martin Luther King's movement. We know that Robert Abernathy and all of them was congregating and talking. We know what happened with Malcolm X, how his own people betrayed him. How the Black Panther movement was infiltrated. There's always been ops, and those ops oftentimes are academics because they are obviously invested in the system. Let's just go ahead and tell the truth and keep it real. I'm not saying this about all academics. I'm not saying this about all college people. But if you have went through the system and you've been educated and you've been indoctrinated within this system, that already shows that you are invested. It already shows that you are trying to thrive in this current dynamic. It shows investment. It shows we could say why. You could give us reasons. You got to take care of your children. You don't want to struggle. You trying to give a better life to your children. I get all of that. I'm not putting down none of that. I'm not. But we still have to play the whole tape. We still have to play the whole tape. There's a certain level of indoctrination that happens after you've been in the institutions so closely, because all of it, like the whole society is indoctrinating us from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep. But there's levels to the indoctrination. There's phases and stages where it is more intense. You know what I'm saying? It's more intense if you're in the military. It's more intense if you're living on campus at a 4-year institution. It's more intense if you got a bunk inside a prison system. It's more intense. There's not really that much space. And so you are constantly being programmed. And a lot of people who are leading our movement have been indoctrinated into this culture. And so if we're being honest, how much can they really liberate you? How much do they really want to be liberated? That's a serious question. And so the reason why we have not had an actual revolution, the reason why black people continue to take and accept, and people of color and descendants of slaves and prisoners of war and descendants of chattel slavery, the reason why we have not rebelled, the reason why we haven't risen up is because those who are in power, who are the tokens of the institution, those who are the raccoons of the institution, they keep us at bay. They calm us down. They give us a speech. They give us some big pretty words like Obama did. And like Kamala doing right now. Kamala gonna get in there and give us some big old pretty words and give us hope. That's what they do. They send what I like to call the pretty niggas. The purty niggas. The purty ones. With the light skin and the curly hair. And they get them in there with their pretty white teeth and their light skin. And they say, oh, look at what we've become. The ones out there, you know, the ones of us, we looking and we see an old light skin, curly hair having look like they could be our cousin or our auntie upstairs in the big Watts house. And we like, we'll stand behind that. But the key word is behind. Because you're going to be behind. You're going to continue to be behind. And so somebody said, you setting out, asked me, was I setting out, you know, voting, you know, you setting out the election. No, nobody is setting it out, you know, like we have literally come to a generation that is boycotting American politics, that is boycotting American institutions. And let's be clear, this doesn't come without suffering. This is only for the strong. You know, people will say, well, you know, you get a check on the first. What you'll do if they cut your benefits? Bitch, I survived before I was getting a check. I survived before I was getting benefits. Do I want them to cut my shit off? No, I want them to give me more. I wish my people would come together so we could fight and we could actually get our reparations, because this ain't reparating. Them little $800 a month, they ain't reparating. I'm trying to get my reparations, so at least I'm getting something for my ancestors. Paid and stuff. Y'all ain't getting nothing. Y'all like here working hard. And baby, look. At least I'm getting something. At least I'm trying to get some kind of reparations. Y'all ain't getting nothing. Y'all like here. Like, and we just came together and stood together. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we were just really, really serious and some of us just came together and stood together, we could actually get some reparations. But if we want to sit up here, I'm African American, I'm from Africa. Well, why should you get reparations if you're from Africa? If I did have a couple of ancestors that came over on a boat, I had some ancestors that was already here, and I know that for a fact. We had a picture of my great-great-grandmother on the wall, and they said she was full-blood Cherokee. We went to my great auntie funeral. You could look at her and tell. Baby, you could look at my great-grandmother and tell. You could tell my ancestors on both my mama and daddy's side. You could see it, that long, thick, wavy hair, that pretty, dark, smooth skin. Child, yes, ma'am, baby. They was already here. Where my coin? Where my coin? I was supposed to got a free education. What y'all giving the Indian people free education? I want my free education. Like, why would we, like what happened that made us consent to making things harder for ourselves? I don't understand that the Indians was getting free education, was getting set up with in reservations. Some of them own casinos and all that. I guess these was the ones that played in the lie and bred with the Caucasians and created the pretendian. But and so they were able to get all of the wealth and stuff. But those of us who couldn't, those of us who didn't look the part, those of us who couldn't fit into the narrative of what an Indian was supposed to look like, we didn't look like Pocahontas and Disney. Y'all kept reclassifying us. And so, child, we ain't getting no money. We ain't getting no, and I understand that. I'm in full support of black people who want to work 10 times as hard. I'm in full support of black people who want to prove that they better than Caucasian people who want to get out there and earn top dollar and want to compete with them and want to prove that you better than them. Baby, go on here, get your life, baby. Do whatever makes you happy. Go on, get it. Handle your business. Handle your business. But don't sit up here and put me down and condemn me because I'd rather have my reparations. Just for surviving this experiment, just for surviving this project, just for surviving y'all playing in my face, just from having to be a lab rat. You know what I'm saying? Just from having to be tokenized and demonized and ostracized and picked up from off the street from trying to survive and taken to jail and put in the hole and strip searched and handcuffed and walked in chains, child. I done had so much stuff happen to me just from being black and queer and poor. Just give me my check for that. Just give me my check for that. Give me my check for surviving HIV for 21 years. Give me my coins, man. Give me it. For surviving the poison, all that. Just give me my check. Like, I just feel like a bunch of us need to get together and we just need to make us some t-shirts that just say, give me my check. And we just need to go stand in front of some Capitol buildings. We need to go protest. That's the whole platform. It ain't rocket science. It ain't a long dissertation. It ain't a speech. I got Indians in my family. We was already here. Give me my check. Give me my check. That's our party. We the purple ones. Give us our check. Give us our check. Give us our check and we're gonna go over here and mind our uneducated, unindoctrinated business. We're gonna be over here minding our business. Uneducated, unindoctrinated, and unaffected by all of your bullshit. Can we get our check? We'll take about $1 billion and we'll go split it. We're gonna split it up. I think about 1 million of us get together and we split the billion. How about that? 1 million of us come together and we split the billion. And see, since we ain't gonna have to pay no taxes, cause we gonna live in a tax-free society, ain't nobody, we ain't gotta, it's $1 billion tax-free. So what that mean? Everybody get 1 million or everybody get 100,000? Cause y'all know my math is. Now, if everybody get 1 million, then we could split it. We could split it again. Like we could split it again. Like we have 2 million people. We have 2 million. And then we'll split the billion. I ain't greedy. I'm not greedy. Just give me about 500,000 for my work and for my efforts. Just give me about 500,000 for my work and for my efforts. Y'all can split the rest. We're gonna get 2 billion. Then we're gonna get 1 billion. It's gonna be 2 million of us. Do it really need to be 2? That's a lot of people. We really need that many people. What if it's 140,000 of us, or maybe 190,000 of us, maybe 190,000, and we split the billion? I'd still be happy with 500,000 for my work, for my work, for my work. Now the 500,000 is tax free, and I'm gonna need to have all my expenses. You know, it's not gonna be coming out that 500,000. We're gonna have to get us a grant from somewhere else because my $500 come at the end. My 500,000, and my 500,000 is for me. That's right, for me to do what I want to do with it. I'm gonna go and get my grandma house fixed. I'm gonna buy me a little bit more land in the country. And yeah, hey, I think we should. I think we should. Hey, how you doing? Thank you. I think we should build up a little city. I think we should build up a little town, and we should have different laws in every town. We should not have to follow the Constitution. We should not have to follow the Constitution. We should be able to create our own Constitution. We should be able to create our own rules and laws. And for the most part, we should be a self-governing society. And all of the super indoctrinated gatekeepers, let them stay in America. Let them, all of the ones that love America and so invested in America, but y'all got mad at Kanye. Because to me, to love, like to truly love America, to love America as a black person, as a descendant of chattel, of the chattel slavery, as a descendant of ancestors who were a prisoner of war, as a descendant of people who have never seen representation of their direct ancestry in the White House, it seems almost racist. It seems almost self hating to say, God bless America. I love America. America is great. It seems almost racist to say that. It seems like to really, really just be invested in America, considering its history with the indigenous black people and the people who've been prisoners of war, who've never gotten their just dues, who've never seen, representation and leadership in the most highest office in the country, who's never had the opportunity. It seems almost racist to say I love America and to say America is amazing, to say America is the best place on earth. And a lot of people who talk like that have never left America, have never been anywhere else. They believe what they see on the news. They believe, just like I have a lot of sisters, in the community who be asking me like, what was Africa like when you went to Africa? And they think that Africa is just like the scariest place on earth for black queer people. But truth be told, like, because I have what you would call passing privilege, Africa is just as scary being a black woman. They kill black women over there. They're not just, killing gay people, or, like, they're not just harming queer people. Like, and a lot of times that violence that happens to queer people is in a direct correlation to patriarchy feeling threatened, to male dominance feeling threatened, to anything that um, looks looks like it's somehow debasing black masculinity, like it's our masculinity in general. So like going to Africa as a woman, in certain parts of Africa is dangerous. It's not just about being queer. It's about like being in the wrong place and being feminine, being obviously feminine, being, just that. It's all in correlation to maintaining patriarchy, maintaining male dominance, maintaining, that power structure. So, like, yeah, I saw gay people in Africa thriving. I saw trans people in Africa thriving. The trans people that I saw thriving were Indian. I didn't see black trans people thriving, but I saw black Indians, darker skinned Indian trans people out to eat at lunch. I saw black Indian gay men out to lunch. I hung out with a black gay person while I was there. And, he seemed happy and he seemed well. And so it's not violence that happens to like that has the potential to happen everywhere. And we have to stop um, with this idea that these relationships, like the things that happen to black women and the things that happen to gay people and trans people, in particular trans people, male to female trans people, and gay men who are obviously more connected to their foremothers, and give off a non-binary energy where you kind of like get that masculine and feminine, not just the masculine. Like those are the ones who are traditionally targeted in hate crimes and violence, and so all of that is in correlation to you know how women are treated and living in a patriarchal world, living in a patriarchal society. So, being scared to go to Africa or being scared to go to certain parts of Haiti or Africa because you're gay or because you're queer, the issue is that it represents a threat to male dominance. It represents a threat to patriarchy. So I wouldn't just feel unsafe going to Africa. I wouldn't just feel unsafe going to Africa because I'm a part of the community. I wouldn't feel safe going to Africa because I have a feminine form. But at the end of the day, what's gonna be gonna be. I'm not gonna be afraid to go anywhere. I'm gonna go anywhere my spirit calls me to go. And what's gonna be is gonna be. I'm always gonna be prayed up. I burn my candles all the time. I talk to my ancestors all the time. I'm not gonna live in fear. If it's somewhere I wanna go, if it's a village I wanna go to, I'ma go. I'm not gonna make somebody else's narrative my narrative. But if that's how it happened to me, that's how it happened to me. And hopefully the world will learn a lesson from it. And if my death, if my passing, reveals the truth and it brings about healing, then hey, that's how I look at it. If it bring about a truth, if it bring about some healing, then was it in vain? That's unfortunate for some people. That has to be their lot and that has to be their reality. Hey, Aaron. So, that's just, I wanted to, touch on that, the whole gay in Africa, because they love putting images in our face of, of gay people getting attacked in Africa. But what they don't show you is women getting hung and killed while they're pregnant and shit over there. So, and that's in certain parts. All of Africa is not the same way. All parts of Africa are not the same way. You have to understand that cell phones are popping up in places in Africa where there weren't any cell phones, where people couldn't afford them. So people are literally, we as black people, we're able to maneuver. And if we keep our mouth shut, we can access spaces, a lot of different spaces where other people could not access. So we could pop up in villages and hoods, and they probably be giving them people cell phones like they sell crack in America, like they sell drugs. Child, they probably popping up with cell phones because they know some of the things that go on in Africa is people that got into real crime and real drama, and people want to see that. And so, stuff is popping up and they doing it for views and for clout and for power, like and a lot of, African people, because of the village experience, they're not savage, and they're not ignorant, but their value system is different from people who are, again, invested in the system, who are around their colonizers every day, sharing space with their colonizers, being in the same, like, their process is not the same, and one is not greater than the other. It's just different. Like, a lot of times we think that because people are more indoctrinated, or people are more colonized, or people are more invested in the institutions, that somehow their words matter just because they could string together a sentence more articulately. We believe them. A lot of times we believe the stuff we hear on the news just because it's said very articulately. Like, you could lie articulate.
That's me.
You could tell a false narrative very articulately. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to say about the Africa situation. But and this the last thing that I wanted to touch on, and because all this is about black people while I'm doing my ramblings. So I just finished watching. I wrestled with watching the last part of Power, and it took me a while to finish it because I saw him literally turning into his father. And you killed your father because you hated him, and then you turned into him. It was something disturbing to me about um, the sex scenes with Tyreek. Like, I know that Tyreek is probably like 18 or 19 in real life, at least 20 years old. But Tyreek has a very young looking face. Tyreek looks very young. Tyreek does not look like a man to me. He does not look like a grown man. He has a very boyish look. He looks like a very young boy. And seeing him in sexual situations, I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I was just like, like, they were showing him in sex scenes and like having sex, and like he'd have made a baby. And I'm like, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. And it's really starting to speak loudly to, it's really starting to speak loudly to how they say that like the Hollywood elites be off into that pedophilia because you because the characters, like the children that they get into play adults, like they really 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 be focused on the youth. Like they really be getting youngsters to play adult roles, and it's like they're messing with your mind to get you to start seeing children in a sexual way. Because I'm sorry, Tyreek just don't look grown. I did not find Tyreek sexually attractive. I could not look at Tyreek in a sexual way because he just looks so damn young, and so every time he does a sex scene, it just feels weird for me. Um, then and then like I said, him turning out to be turning out to be just like his daddy, and 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 what you call it, fought so hard not to be like her mama, and then when the girl, killed her baby, then when the white girl killed her baby, she ended up, wanting to be just like her mama. So now she's gonna want to start her own family and be her mom again. When 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 they mama died, I ain't gonna lie. When Mary J. Blige died, I cried. Like when Mary J. Blige died, I cried. But when the girl, when the one that was from Europe, who kind of gave you like Moorish energy, like they was from London. Like when she died, thank you. When she died, I didn't cry when the little girl died. When she was like, because she was just, to me, even though I knew the girl was innocent, um, I felt like the mom had been such a monster, needlessly a monster, had needlessly turned into a monster. And so I felt like it was karma. Even though I felt like it was the role that Mary J. Blige played, like I felt like that was her karma too. Um, I just I just really felt like she loved her child. Like I felt like she loved her children. And their love looked different, but I guess it's because I'm more favorable of the love where you don't shelter your child and not have your child ready for that world. Like when her daughter died on them steps, I it was like she was so helpless and she wasn't prepared for anything because her mama had sheltered her. And so it just showed how helpless she was and how fragile she was and how she couldn't defend herself and how she couldn't protect herself. And I see black people doing that to their children all the time, like extremely, like their children being extremely sheltered. I could not grieve for that. I could not cry in that moment because I was mad at her for how she sheltered her daughter and how you was involved in all of that, and you had your daughter close to you, but your daughter was not protected. So I was mad at her for keeping her daughter naive and keeping her daughter green and keeping her daughter unprepared. But I respected Monique because Monique prepared her children. Monique didn't tell the truth all the time. Monique lied about some things, but her children were prepared for what their mama had them involved in. And so I respect Monique. I didn't totally agree with her strategy and how she did things, but I respected her for at least having her children prepared. He's 24, but still no. That's a part of programming for sure, right? He looks so young. They needed a young body. Of course, they had to end MJB's character. They said they ended her character because of her affiliation with Diddy. But I'm understanding that it's gonna be more. Like it's not over yet. Yeah, but he turned out to be his daddy. It's like how you hate your daddy and just don't do nothing different than he did. Like you want to get up in the game and you want to do the same thing that he did. And that it really wasn't even your upbringing. Like that didn't even really have to be you. And that's another thing that power reveals is that everybody getting in the game, not getting in the game. Like people used to be able to use that and say, oh, we ain't have no food to eat. We was starving. We was struggling. We was hungry. Like, no, everybody not getting in the game for that. Some people, it's just in your blood. Like, your daddy might have did it to get you out of the hood. But truth be told, you seen that's how you know. You watch your daddy do it and you don't want to do what they tell you to do. You want to do what you see them doing. And so, like a lot of children, we can't use that narrative no more and use that lie no more and say, oh, it was because it's all, it was because we had to survive. No, you could still say it's all because if that's what your parents was doing and they didn't expose you to anything different, then yeah, you know what I'm saying? You gonna go what's in your blood. You know what I'm saying? But I got on this video really to just, like bring home the point of the reason why our movement is not moving. The reason why our movement has been standing still, and the reason why we have not seen real progression for black people outside of the institutions, black people who are, you know what I'm saying, don't have master degrees, don't have doctorate degrees, didn't go to the top colleges in the country. The reason why we don't see opportunities coming for the brilliant, creative, indigenous, original minds that we have in this country is because it's our own people. It's legit our own people. It's legit our own people who are being vetted to keep us in our place. And then gonna sit up and look at you and tell you that you're the problem because you're uneducated, because you won't vote, because you won't become more invested in the very system that is responsible for keeping its foot on your neck, your ancestors' necks, and your children's necks who's coming. They're gonna tell you you're the problem. It's your own people that have been put in place to keep you in your place. It's your own people. Tell you your black card is revoked because you kiss animals in the mouth. Tell you you can't come to the barbecue. Yeah, what is a black card at this day and age? What even is a black card when Joe Biden can go on the Breakfast Club and tell you you're not black if you don't vote for him? What is a black card when Kamala can say she Indian for years and then all of a sudden become the front runner in the Democratic Party and now she black? What is a black card? Exactly what is it? Bitch, what is a black card at this point? Reminds me of the ending of them ending Angela Bassett on Black Panther. Hey, 100% pure love. Yeah. Thank you in 2020. Yeah. So, like, what exactly is a black card? And what value does it have? What value does it have right now? Y'all was so in love with Donald Trump, and we not finna act like this man changed when he ran for office. We not finna act like this man changed, but y'all loved this man before he ran for office. Nah, he racist, he racist, he racist, he racist, he racist, he misogynist, he misogynist, he misogynist, he misogynist. But all of y'all was friends with him. All y'all was cool with him. He was dating black women. All of y'all, like, seeing pictures with so many black people. He was cool. He was at so many black people parties and stuff. Like, y'all loved this man. Y'all worshiped this man. Then when he run for office, all of a sudden, he racist, he this, he that, he this, he that. But this was the same dude. This was the same dude. Y'all playing in our face. Y'all literally playing in our face. All them years, like, Donald Trump was like Bill Clinton. And this the gag. Y'all lived for Bill Clinton, and Bill Clinton was in the office getting ahead. Y'all reelected him again. What exactly is the black card again? Because the ones who got the power to revoke it shouldn't. Baby, a lot of the historically black colleges were founded by wealthy, extremely wealthy Caucasian people. And you don't think that when they sold into those institutions for the purpose of they understood the direction that the nation was going in, and they understood that the threat our ancestors could present if they were not guided via the institution, if they were not groomed and trained and further colonized via the institutions. I'm not against learning. I'm not against academics. I'm not against scholarly efforts. But I am against you going and being indoctrinated by the ones who made us prisoners of war, and you somehow thinking you're better than me, because that's really giving some house eager coonties, raccoonery. It's the raccoonery for me. Ooh, I've been sitting down too long. But anyway, yeah, I got triggered because don't get me wrong, I put FD Signifier picture on here because he triggered this whole conversation, because every time I hear him talk about Kanye West, it really just literally pissed me off, you know, for anybody, who's been invested enough in these institutions to go and get a mastery level degree or multiple mastery level degrees so that you could be able to code switch because that's what you're doing. Because that's what you're doing. That's what you're getting it for, so that your work and so that your art will be translatable to Caucasian people, so that your work and your art can be crossed over, so that your storytelling, so that everything that you're doing can be relatable to Caucasian people. That's what you do. My work doesn't always translate to them. My art doesn't always translate to them. So you go to the institutions so that whatever it is that you're crafting, whatever it is that you're working on, the language, your skill level, you want it to be something that could be beneficial to you in white America, in a white man's world, in a colonized society. You're going to put your best foot forward in in white world, in white society. And I understand that my art is not mainstream because I did not go and get the education so that my work can translate to them all the time. Sometimes when I'm talking, it sounds I'm talking all over their head. But I know to my people who have not lost their souls, who have not lost their roots, our ancestors shared information orally. There isn't a word to describe what kind of communicators our ancestors were. Like a run-on sentence was nothing because your attention span and ADHD wasn't a thing because you were eating properly and you were taking care of yourself, and so you processed information at a different level, and so you were able to understand what was being said to you without scratching your head and like that's a run-on sentence. You talking all around you understood it. You understood the parable. You understood the story. We were there. There's not a word to describe how great we told stories. There's not a word to describe how well we were able to orally pass down information, and that has been lost. That art has weakened because of assimilation. But I'm here, right here, reviving it, right here, keeping it alive, honey. It seems that you're being a whistleblower for guys that want to get rid of, for a guy that wants to get rid of our own existence, respectfully. Um, Rainbow Con, I'm hoping that you're able to process everything that I'm saying and that you're not choosing to pick the parts of the parts that trigger you to speak on, because I've said a lot of things about Donald Trump. Sometimes I say positive things, sometimes I say negative things, because I'm a person who believes in playing a whole story. There are people after I pass or when I'm not around who have negative things to say about me. There are people who have positive things to say about me. Just because I don't agree with what you're trying to do to me, that doesn't mean that I am not going to be honest and I'm going to start editing things out because it benefits me. That is what's wrong with American politics now. People alter the narrative because it's beneficial to them. Okay? When you alter a narrative because it benefits you, that makes you just like Donald Trump. That makes you the same. I'm not the same. I'm not going to edit his narrative and say that black people didn't love him and that black people weren't all in pictures with him because he has said that he doesn't care for trans people. Before Obama came into office, they didn't care. Obama was the first, and Obama wasn't even for it at first. He wasn't for gay marriage and gay rights at first, but then them checks started rolling in and he changed his tune. What president that has been in the White House has ever been for our existence? What president before him was, yes, trans rights, yes, to trans people? What president before him? How is it different? And the only reason why Kamala cares about a certain class of trans people. She cares about a certain class of queer people. And you better believe if they couldn't organize and put some votes and a check towards her, she wouldn't care either. Respectfully. Respectfully. This is not about our lives mattering. This is about, do you have money? Do you have resources? Can you fund my campaign? I'm already wealthy. I already have a nasty coin. My bank account is already lovely. But guess what? If you want me to represent you in the hallowed halls of eliteness, in the hallowed halls of the bourgeois who have their foot planted firmly on your necks, you need to lend your voice and your resources to my already overflowing banking account. That's what this is about. Respectfully. You on the wrong live for that, girl, because I have disdain for the most. I have disdain for the government. I have disdain for American politics. I don't know what's going on why you're choosing to only see one side. It's beyond me. Like, I don't know where you're getting, like, I don't know. I think you're taking rhetoric and things that you've heard on other lives and you're just, trying to express them on this live. But nowhere have you heard me say Trump was the savior. What I've said is that he is the wolf that you can see coming, and Kamala is the snake. Both of them are predators. That's what I've said. And I stand on that 10 toes down. He's the wolf that I can see coming. I got time to get ready for his attack. Kamala is hiding in the bushes. When she jump out and bite, it's going to be too late. The damage going to be done. And watch this prophecy. Watch it happen. Watch. Because if all of this stuff that's going on in the other country, if she get elected, which I think that is a very good chance that she will, if she gets elected, watch. Before her administration is done, she gonna bite y'all in the ass. Before her administration is done. What I want people to understand is that you're still gonna get it. You're just gonna get it in a more strategic way. Trump is gonna be direct. He have testicles. He's gonna be arrogant and cocky with his stuff. He's gonna be an asshole with his shit. But Kamala gonna finesse y'all. She gonna finesse y'all. She gonna finesse it. But it's still gonna be the same result. That's my point. That's my point. And that's why I will have no parts. And that's why I will have no parts in any of it. That's why I will have no parts. She's gonna finesse y'all. She's been groomed and vetted and she's ready for it. And she's gonna finesse y'all. So, but whatever they got planned for his administration, they got planned for hers. And what I want us to do is to wake up, continue waking up, and starting to see that, baby, I'm not putting down college educated people. And I'm not saying that they not helpful. And I'm not saying that, they bad for the movement. I'm just saying, you need to watch more carefully. You need to pay attention. Because it ain't the only, it ain't just, you ain't, as when you living below the poverty line and you don't have much resources, Another dude on the streets, I'm trying not to, use too many curse words. Another dude on the streets, or another woman on the streets, or another person on the streets, that's not the only thing you have to worry about. You have to worry about people in your community who done went got this education so that they can help herd you into your prospective box, herd you into your prospective class, and herd you into a space of continuous lack at the behest of Massa and Mr. Charlie. That's the bottom line. Not only do you have to worry about so and so on the street, so and so who you beefing with on the streets, you have to worry about, not only do you have to worry about your colonizer or your perceived oppressor, but you have to worry about your own people who are going in these institutions and getting education and getting indoctrinated thoroughly so that they can via politics, via celebrity, via theater, via acting, via whatever form of art. They're going and they're mastering these things, technology, all of that, so that they can assist massa in herding you into your prospective boxes. And those are boxes of lack. Those are boxes of limit. That's right, overseers. They're going there, they're getting that education, and they're doing what Massa said up on this plantation. So don't think that every time you hear somebody speak articulately with a degree from so-and-so, from an HBCU, don't think that they got your back. Don't think that they got your vested interest. They could talk a good game, and they could say what you want to hear. But sweetheart, a lot of times, the conversations that are happening off camera are the ones you really need to be privy to, but you're not going to be privy to them. So that's all I'm saying. Baby, don't be sitting up here being bewildered and amazed and fascinated by the big words and the research, because we finding out he say research over me search. Well, what exactly are we researching? Because everything they done told us so far done been a lie. They said we all came over here on slave ships. We finding out that a lot of us was prisoners of war. And this was stuff that you already knew, because how many of us know we got a grandma or auntie or a cousin in our family that was Indian? This stuff we knew that we choose to forget because the gatekeepers was indoctrinating us with false information. They painted a narrative to us that our only ancestors was Harriet Tubman, was Frederick Douglass, was W.E. Du Bois, was Martin Luther King. We'll never get to see no pictures of our indigenous black ancestry who were already here. They don't tell us. Where is the research for that? Where's the research? Where's the research of the black women that were doing powerful things in this nation before the Black Panther movement? Where is the research of the queer black indigenous people that were doing powerful things before the Reconstruction period? Where is that information? It's not available. Hey, Multimo, it's not available. It's not available. Y'all done lied to us about so many things. Y'all done told us so many lies. This nation has told us so many lies. But y'all quick to say research. Research lies? The books filled with lies?
That's why I said what I said. I don't
Child boom. Well, I gotta get off this live because I got 11% left and I'm out walking and I ain't even been to the grocery store. But I'm gonna call you this evening, Multimar. Yesterday I was exhausted, hell. I was exhausted and I just finished editing. I woke up and I was editing today, but I was exhausted. But I'm gonna call you today, Multimar. Yeah, but let me get off of here because I ain't got but 11%. Like they done lied to us so much. That's why we gotta get that spiritual discernment back up. We gotta be fasting and praying and meditating. drinking water, drinking, eating our fruits and vegetables, exercising, meditating, clearing our mind, not being on social media all the time, being able to sit with our thoughts and meditate and stuff. Cause baby, that's how you gonna get them downloads, baby. Take them wigs off for a second, honey, and go out and let that sunlight hit that scalp, honey. Let it hit that curly hair, honey. Eat you some fruit and some vegetables and clear your mind. Fast a little bit so your thoughts could be clearer. So your thoughts could be clearer, and go outside and get some downloads, and hug on a tree and put your feet on the grass so your ancestors can talk to you, and you could get information for yourself, and you could cut out the middleman. Because baby, everything cannot be given to you from a book. Everything cannot be. Data can be manipulated. Statistics can be manipulated. Numbers can be manipulated. Baby, people can lie to you. And if people can lie to you and get away with it, they gonna do it. Your own people. The people who look like you. Why you think in 200 years, the best we could get is a Kamala? Why you think in 200 years, the best we got is this party? Why you think since 1777, this the best we've been able to do? It's been some handshaking going on. We saw that when Jay-Z bought that stock in that basketball game. And we see where he at now. Honey, behind the scenes, quiet. Quiet. With all his money. Thank you. With all his coin. Quiet. Because he learned not to say too much out loud. Baby, with Tyler Perry, we used to couldn't get Tyler Perry to stop talking. Tyler Perry wouldn't shut up. Now he a billionaire. Talk for what? And then when he do something, then when he do talk, he gonna tell you about the name of Jesus. And narrated the story of Jesus with a white man playing Jesus. Girl, I'm telling you, girl, it's some handshaking. It's been going on, girl. It's been going on. We got to wake up, honey. We got to snap out the foolishness. But some of us, we here for it. We here for it. We is here for it. And that's okay. Be here for it. But don't try to tell me that I can't come to the barbecue. Cause guess what? I don't even want to come to the barbecue. I don't want no dead animals on no grill. I'm straight. Like I ain't gonna lie. I will eat a piece of sausage here and there. I'm not above it. Like I will eat some meat, but baby, I'm not. I'm not gonna pass out if I can't come to your barbecue. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna pass out if I can't come to your barbecue. Cause child, that's not really like my favorite dish. Anyway, like no, I eat other things. Like now. So I don't want no processed meat from the store. Like now. Now, fat. I don't want none of your Kool-Aid. I don't need to play spades with you. We done played enough games, Pooh. Now, I don't need to play dominoes with you. I don't need to come to the barbecue. Cause y'all the same niggas. Y'all the same niggas that let Joe Biden tell us you ain't black if you don't vote for me. I'm good. I'm straight on y'all. I'm straight. Anyway, down but now that I say Kuiki spinning and turning in Gani Yanko Kalukalo, which means I am a child of God Goddess. And if I am, you know you are. We over here becoming purple. Purple ones rise. Remember to light your candles, representing past, present, and future. Thank you to my moderators, 100% pure love and hey faith. Thank you, Aaron, for your comments. Thank you, Rainbow Kant, for your comments. Thank you, I That I Am, for your comments. Thank you, Elizabeth Claire, for your comments. Thank you, everyone, for sharing and contributing to this conversation. Thank you, Inc. 2020. I've really enjoyed chatting with y'all. Love y'all. Y'all have a beautiful evening, and we will talk again soon. Until next time, Lay Lim, Lay Lur Nation, and Purple Ones Rise. Mwah.